Welcome to Wednesday on the Hook, part 2 of the baby set. We are making baby booties today. They will look like this, aren't they? So adorable. It's so cute. All right. So if you're ready to get started, grab your hooks, grab your yarn, grab your smile, your joy, and meet me over at the craft table. So let's take a quick look at the items that we will need. We will need a pair of scissors, and we will need a yarn needle. And we are using a F hook, or otherwise known as a 3.75. I'm using a Lether Co hook. We will need the yarn that we're using, and just a reminder, I am using the Bernat Baby Coordinates yarn. It is in the colorway Cotton Candy. It is machine washable and dryable. It is a light 3 fingering weight yarn. It is 71.2 acrylic, 25.6 rayon, and 3.2% nylon. All right, and then of course, I don't like to crochet without a little bit of lotion to keep my best tool moisturized and hydrated. So while I am rubbing my lotion in, hopefully you're doing the same, we are going to get ready to make our baby booties. The only thing that I need to just kind of give you as like a side note before we get started is the piece is going to be worked in a continuous round. So we are not going to join unless specified, okay? You may want to grab a stitch marker to use to indicate the beginning of each of your rounds, especially since we are not going to be doing a join, but that way you can keep up with where your round began and where it ended. So to get started making our booties, we are going to start with a slip knot, so just make that however you feel comfortable. And we're going to make a foundation chain of 12. Remember that the loop on the hook does not count as a chain in your foundation chain. So let's count out 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. All right, skipping the first chain from the hook, we're going to go into the second chain from the hook, and we're going to work 2 single crochets into that chain. Now, as with any foundation chains, it's hard to work with when you're first starting out because you have nothing to hold on to, so just do your best. Then we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 6 chains. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, 6, and now into the next 3 chains, we're going to work a half double crochet. And 1, working half double crochets, 2, and 3. And then in this last chain here, we're going to work a total of 5 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh goodness. And 5, yay! Okay, I'm going to tighten my little slip knot down there. And now normally you would turn your work and work back across the top here, but we're going to turn this back around. We are actually going to work across in the round this bottom part of our foundation chain. And I'm going to work my tail in as I go. So going into this next stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. And then into the next 2 stitches, we will also work a single half double crochet. So 1, and then into the next stitch, a half double crochet as well. All right, I'm going to kind of pull my foundation tail a little tight because I don't really want a big hole right there. Okay, so now in the next 7 actual chains of our foundation chain, we're going to do single crochet in each one. So 1, 2, and again, until you get a little bit worked up, it's kind of hard to hold on to. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then in the very last one here, we're going to work 2 single crochets. And then we're going to work 1 more right in that same stitch. All right. And that is the beginning part of the bottom of our little booty. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off this remaining excess of my foundation tail. And let's go ahead and start round 2. We are going to single crochet into the very next stitch, and that is the one on the very end. And then to remain symmetrical to this side, we're going to work 2 single crochets into this next stitch. 1 and 2, right in that same stitch. Okay, so now going around here, we're going to work a single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. So 1, 2, again until we get something to hold on to. Just do the best you can. And 3, and 4, 5, and it should be a lot better at the end of this round. You'll have more to hang on to. And 6. All right. And now in the next 5 stitches, we are going to work a half double crochet. So 1, oops, 2, 3, 4 and 5. All right, and to the next 3 stitches, we're going to do a total of 2 half double crochets in each of those. So one, and then a second one right in that same stitch. 2. All right, 2 half double crochets into the next stitch. 1 and 2. And then 2 half double crochets into this next stitch. 1 and 2. I have a little silver strand that runs through my yarn as like an accent color, and it's really fine, even finer than the fingering weight yarn, so I have to be really careful that I'm getting it with each strand of yarn when I pull it through and not separating it. All right, so now in the next 4 stitches, we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of those. So 1, and again, we're continuing to work with half double crochets. And in the next stitch, be our next one, which will be 2, and a half double crochet in the next, 3, and a half double crochet in the next, 4. All right, and then in the next 6 stitches, we're going to work a single crochet. So 1, and again, we're working single crochets now, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to do 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So 1, and right back into that same stitch, 2, and then a single crochet into the next stitch. And then that ends round 2. So going right into round 3, we're going to work 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So we're going to come to this one on the very end here, and then the one right beside it. And then to remain symmetrical to this side, we're going to work 2 single crochets into the very next stitch. And another one right into that same stitch. All right, and now we're going to work a single crochet into the next 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. And now going into the next, stitch, we are going to do a half double crochet in each of the next 3. So 1, and again we're working half double crochets now, 2, and 3. All right, and now into the next stitch, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. So 1 and 2. And then in the next stitch, we're going to work 1 half double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. So 1 and 2. Get caught up on that little silver strand. I apologize for that. All right. And then in the next stitch, we're going to work 1 half double crochet. My yarn does not want to stay on my hook. It's part of the patience of working with a lightweight fingering yarn. All right, and then in this next stitch, we're going to work 2 half double crochets. And then in the next stitch, we're going to work a half double crochet. And again, that keeps coming around the toe of our booty symmetrical. All right, so now that we've finished that small little repeat pattern, we are now going to work a half double crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. So 1, and again, we're still doing half double crochets, 2, and 3. And it should be getting a little bit easier to hold on to your work now because you've got something to actually hang on to. And we are now going to work a single crochet into the next 8 stitches. So 1, and again we switch back to single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to work 2 single crochets into the very next stitch. So 1, and 2. And then in this last stitch, we're going to work a single crochet. And that finishes round 3. Okay, so cute. All right, so beginning round 4, we are going to work a single crochet into this very next stitch. And then we're going to work 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to do a single crochet into each of the next 15 stitches. So I'm going to let you do that, and then I will meet back up with you after you have put a single crochet in the next 15 stitches. After you have put 15 stitches, or excuse me, single crochets into each of those 15 stitches, we're now going to work on the toe part of the booty. And we are going to do 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So 1, and again, it should be getting easier because you now have something to hold on to, and 2. And then we're going to single crochet into the next stitch. And we're going to single crochet twice into the next stitch. So 1 and 2. Gotta watch that little silver streak. Sure is pretty in it, but whew, it catches a lot. And then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. 2 single crochets into the next stitch. So 1 and then another one right into that same stitch. And then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And that helps to keep our toe portion symmetrical. Okay. And once you've done that, we are now going to do a single crochet in each of the next 12 stitches. So go ahead and work a single crochet right into the next 12, and then I will meet back up with you to finish the round. After you've done a single crochet into those last 12 stitches, we are going to work 2 single crochet into this very next stitch. So 1 and 2. And then we're going to work 1 single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. And this will finish round 4. All right, so before you go on to round 5, make sure I pull that out so we don't pull it out. You might want to grab a stitch marker, and let me see if I've got one handy. I thought I did. Okay. And go ahead and let's make the first single crochet of the next round. So in the very next stitch of round 5, you're going to make a single crochet. Once you've done that, go ahead and put your stitch marker in. Okay. And for round 5 and round 6, all you're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each stitch around. And when you get back to your stitch marker at the end of row 5, you might want to, after you make that first stitch, go ahead and move your stitch marker up just so it can help you keep track with the beginning and ending of your round. And then I will meet back up with you at the end of round 6. So again, for round 5 and round 6, we're just putting a single crochet stitch in each stitch around. So look at the nice shape that your booty is finally taking. And you definitely have enough to hang on to now that's making it a lot easier to work with. So we are at the end of round 6. And we're getting ready to start round 7. So I'm going to take my stitch marker out for a minute, and then in that same stitch as the stitch marker, we are going to work a single crochet, and then we'll put that stitch marker right back in there so we know that that is the beginning of our round. And counting the single crochet that we just made into that stitch, we are going to put a single crochet into each of the next 18 stitches. So that would be 2 and 3. So go ahead and work a single crochet into each of the next 18 stitches, and I will meet back up with you when we get there. When you've completed working 1 single crochet into those 18 stitches, we're going to start working on our toe piece again, and we're going to do what's called a double crochet decrease, and we're going to make 5 of those. So it's going to take up the next 10 stitches to do those 5 double crochet decreases, and let's work one together. So you're going to yarn over just like you're double crocheting, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through the first 2. You have 2 loops remaining on your hook. We're going to leave those there. We're going to yarn over, go into the very next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. You have 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull through the first 2. That leaves 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And that is your first double crochet decrease. All right, we're going to do another one. Yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over and pull through all 3. So let's do 3 more of those. and that's 3. And that is 4. And then our last one, and that will give us a total of 5 double crochet decreases. All right, and there we go. All right, so after we have finished that, we are now going to do a single crochet into each of the next 15 stitches. So go ahead and work a single crochet in each of the next 15 stitches, and I will meet up with you at the end of this round. And this brings us around to the end of round 7, and your little booty is taking such a cute little shape. And there's a little toe piece. All right, so I'm going to remove my stitch marker to start round 8. Excuse me. And we're going to do a single crochet decrease in the next 2 stitches. So going right into that next stitch, we're going to pull up a loop, and then we're going to go right into the next stitch, pull up a loop, and that one stitch has become our single crochet decrease. So I'm going to put my stitch marker in right there to indicate the beginning of my row. Okay. All right. And now we're going to do a single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches. So go ahead and work a single crochet in each of the next 16 stitches, and I will meet back up with you after you have completed 16 single crochets in each of those stitches. After you've worked a single crochet in 16 of those stitches, we're now going to do some more double crochet decreasing. This time we're only going to do it 3 times. So let's go ahead and work our 3 double crochet decreases. Again, you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through the first 2. Yarn over, go into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2, and yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's your first one. And now let's work our second one. And our third one. And that completes our 3 double crochet decreases to continue forming the toe part of our booty. And now we are going to work a single crochet in each of the next 14 stitches. So go ahead and work your single crochet in the next 14 stitches, and I'll meet up with you at the end of this round. And our little booty is just looking so adorable. To begin round 9, I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and I'm going to work a single crochet right into where that stitch marker was. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker back. And then we're going to work, and we are going to count in this count, this single crochet that we just put in with the stitch marker, a total of 17 single crochets. So going into the next one would be 2, and 3, and we're going to keep doing that until we have a total of 17 single crochets. So you go ahead and work a single crochet in the next 17 stitches, and I will meet up with you to begin the toe part again. After you've worked a single crochet in those 17 stitches, we're going to start on our toe piece again, and we're going to work some double crochet decreases, and we're only going to do this twice this time. So let's go ahead, and this is our first double crochet decrease, and oops, I forgot to yarn over first. There we go. And we're going to do that one more time. And this will be our second one. All right, and so after you've done those 2 double crochet decreases, we are now going to work a single crochet in the next 13 stitches. So go ahead and start working a single crochet in the next 13 stitches, and I will meet up with you at the end of round 9. We are now at the end of round 9, and I'm going to take my stitch marker out, and in the stitch where my stitch marker was, I'm going to do a single crochet. And then I'm going to put my stitch marker back in. And counting that single crochet, we are going to do 1 single crochet in the next 16 stitches. So this is 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and work a single crochet in the next 16 stitches, and I will meet back up with you when we get to the toe part. After you put a single crochet in the last 16 stitches, we're going to work some double crochet decreases on our toe here, and we're going to do it twice. So let's just go ahead and do 2 double crochet decreases. And that is 1. And that is 2. And now we're going to work a single crochet into each of the next 12 stitches. So go ahead and work those single crochets in the next 12 stitches, and I will meet up with you at the end of round 10. After you've worked a single crochet in those last 12 stitches, that ends round 10 for us. I'm going to go ahead and grab my stitch marker, and starting round 11, we're going to single crochet into that next stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and put my stitch marker back in. And we are going to put a single crochet, counting the one that we just put with the stitch marker, in the next 15 stitches. So that would be 2 and 3 and 4. So go ahead and work a single crochet in the first 15 stitches of round 11, and then I will meet back up with you at the toe part. After you have worked a single crochet in the first 15 stitches of round 11, we are going to do 2 double crochet decreases right here on the toe part. So let's go ahead and work those. and that is 1, and then we're going to work the second one, and then to finish round 11 we are going to work a single crochet in each of the next 11 stitches. So go ahead and finish off round 11 by working a single crochet into the next 11 stitches, and I will meet up with you at the end of this round. After you have worked a single crochet into those last 11 stitches, that ends round 11. We're going to start round 12. I'm going to remove my stitch marker, and we are going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch. So just slip stitch. We're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You will not need your stitch marker for the rest of this project. Okay, we are now going to skip the next stitch right here, and we're going to work a half double crochet into that next stitch. See if I can tighten my loops down. There we go. All right. We're going to chain 1, and then we are going to skip the next stitch, and we're going to do a half double crochet into the next stitch. We're going to chain 1, we're going to skip the next stitch and do a half double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, skip the next stitch and work a half double crochet in the next, and we're going to continue doing this all the way around the rest of the booty. So go ahead and complete round 12 by chaining 1, skipping a stitch, and working a half double crochet in the next stitch. One more time, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and work a half double crochet into the next stitch. And I will meet up with you at the end of this round. So when you come to the end of round 12 and you've done your last chain 1, we're going to join it to this beginning chain 3 in the second chain with a slip stitch. And that completes round 12. So look how cute your booty looks. All right, so to start this round, we're going to do what's called a beginning V-stitch, and the way we do that is we chain 4. So 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to work a double crochet right in that same stitch as our chain 4. So go ahead right in there and work a double crochet, and you will see that that has created a V stitch. All right, we are now going to skip the next half double crochet, and then we're going to shell into the next one. So we're going to skip this half double crochet, and then we're going to work a shell stitch into this half double crochet right here. So, and to do a shell stitch, you do double crochets 5 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oops. There we go. All right, now we're going to skip the next chain 1 space, which is right here, and then we're going to go to the next chain 1 space, and we're actually going to do our V-stitch in that space, and that is a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Okay. Now we're going to skip the next chain 1 space, which is right here, and we're going to work a shell stitch into the next chain 1 space. So let's work our 5 double crochets. And 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so we just completed that shell stitch. So we're going to skip this next half double crochet, and we're going to actually do our V-stitch this time in the top of the half double crochet. Oops. All right, so we're working a V-stitch. And hopefully we can go right back in there, and we were successful. Okay, so now we're going to skip this next half double crochet, and we're going to work a shell into the next one, and hopefully we will be a little bit more successful. And we're just working that shell stitch, putting 5 double crochets in there, and that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, we're now going to skip the next chain 1 space, and we're going to work a V-stitch into the next chain 1 space. All right, and then we are going to skip this chain 1 space, and we're going to work a shell into this last chain 1 space. And again, that's 5 double crochets to complete that shell. And that's 3, 4, and 5. All right, and then we're going to go to the third chain in our beginning chain 4 here. So 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to slip stitch to join the round. And now we're moving on to round 14. We have 2 rounds left to go, and our booty will be complete. All right, we're going to slip stitch into the next chain 1 space. So right in here, we're just going to work a slip stitch. And then we're going to do what is called a beginning shell. And to do a beginning shell, we are going to actually chain 3 and then work 4 double crochets. So normally with a shell, you work 5 double crochets, but since we're doing a beginning shell for the beginning of this round, we're going to chain 3, so 2, 3, and then we're going to work 4 double crochets right into this space. So that's 2 or 1, however you want to count it. So you've got your 5 double crochets, but for counting double crochets, and that would have been 1, This would be 2. This would be 3. And this would be 4. So 4 double crochets plus a chain 3 gives you your 5 double crochets for your shell stitch. Okay. All right. So now, let me get some yarn here. We are going to go over here to this last shell stitch we made, and in the 3rd double crochet we're going to work a V-stitch. And again, that's a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. All right. And then we are going to go over to this V-stitch right here, and we're going to work a shell stitch. And we're going to do that all the way around for round 14. So in every shell stitch, we're going to make a V-stitch in the 3rd double crochet. And in every V-stitch, we are going to make a shell stitch. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you at the end of round 14. When you get to the end of round 14, the last stitch you should have made was a V-stitch. And then we're going to come to this beginning chain, and we're going to go into the top of chain 3, and we're going to do a slip stitch to join the round. And now we're going to start our last round of our booties. We're going to slip stitch in each of the next 2 double crochets. So let's go ahead into this one and slip stitch, and into this one and slip stitch. All right, and now we're going to do a beginning V-stitch into this next one, and to do a beginning V-stitch, again we simply chain 4 and then we do a double crochet. So let's chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That counts as a double crochet and a chain 1, and then we're going to work a double crochet, and that will create our V-stitch. Okay. All right, and then now we're going to go over to our V-stitch here, and we're going to work a shell stitch. And again, that's 5 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5. And for round 15, we're going to do it just like we did round 14. We're going to come to the 3rd double crochet of each shell and work a V-stitch. We're going to go to every V-stitch and work a shell stitch, and I will meet up with you when you get back to the end of round 15. All right, so when you get to the end of round 15, you should have ended with a shell stitch. We are going to go into this beginning chain, and at the top of the chain 3, we are going to do a slip stitch to join, and then we're going to chain 1 to fasten, and then we're going to cut ourselves a little bit of a tail, and we're going to pull that through and secure our knot, and then take just a minute and go ahead. I'm going to turn mine wrong side out because I always like to weave my tails in on the wrong side, but go ahead and take a minute to weave in your tail. After you have your tail weaved in, I'm going to turn my booty back right side out. All right, get all that out of the way, and then I'm going to grab a piece of ribbon, and I've cut it about 18 inches long, And then we're going to weave it into this very first row right here where we started the upper part of the booty. So right in there in those holes. So I'm going to come right here to this front piece. Let's see. I'm actually going to just use my fingers and weave it right in there so it's coming out the front portion. And then I'm just going to use my hook to weave it through the rest of it like this. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to grab it again and pull it through. And you want to make sure your ribbon is staying in the same direction so it's running smoothly. And again, I'm just going to grab it and pull it through. And I'm going to do that again. And we are almost back to the beginning. Well, there we go. And we're going to pull it through this very last one. And there we go. Both ends are now coming out the same hole. And then you just want to pull it so each piece is about even with the other. And then there is your booty. And then I'm just going to tie my ribbon into a bow. And there we go. There is our booty. Aren't those adorable? Well, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, be sure and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please be sure and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future tutorials. And I hope that you will join us next Wednesday as we make the sweater to our little set. So until next week, be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, and make your own joyful creations. Everyone have a great week. Bye.